for today's cup of coffee, we're going to start more in depth with the reptilians. And some of these are kind of mind-blowing. They really are. And this is David Icke's theories on some of these things. If you're not familiar with David Icke, you can still find quite a few of his videos on BitChute. But it's also kind of difficult to find some of the older ones where he is talking about the reptilians. I don't know why. I guess it's just, the world today as it is, that there's other things that he's concentrating on. But
yeah, but at least you can archive those videos.
Right. And I think that other people may have, but it's you sort of have to search for them.
Exactly.
And there was one that was about 2 or 3 hours long where he had given a lecture about these things. This stuff is very detailed, which is why it's a matter of just giving snippets.
I will never sit through a 3-hour lecture.
Well, if it's something that's very intriguing, which this is very intriguing, but on some of it, you honestly almost have to have schematics. And at a certain point, it's like watching the videos File Cabal, which you can watch those on BitChute. And I think they usually last about an hour. I had watched like 10 or 12 of them. And at a certain point, I just sort of gave up because I was full. And I'm like, it was making me dizzy. You're dizzying me. Seriously. Because it just makes my head spin. So some of these things I have to sort of put them aside for a little while until I can pick them back up again. And that's why we're doing just snippets. And these snippets are coming from its Bibliotheca Pleiades. I finally did look up what it is. And it is supposedly the Library of Suppressed Knowledge. That's the website. And this was supposedly by Aurora 025, October 2004, and originally from Forum FOC website.
Okay.
FOK. FOC.
FOC.
So it's probably a British pronunciation of that. So take it for what it is. And there are also pieces in there that it was not apparent where some of the quotations ended, some of the excerpts ended, and where whom the author of whatever had inserted their own. So I'm doing the best I can with what I has.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. And this is supposedly, it says, extracted from the reptilians, why they are so obsessed with bloodline and ritual, by David Icke. And it says the reptilian and other entities which are manipulating our world by possessing human bodies operate in frequencies between the third and fourth densities. These are referred to as hidden spaces and planes unknown to man, and the apparently ancient emerald tablets, which Icke had quoted from in the Children of the Matrix. For simplicity, when it says I, that is as far as Icke. For simplicity, I refer to this between world in my books as the lower fourth dimension. It is from here that they police our vibrational prison, the matrix, and seek to addict and restrict us from dense physical senses. This world was once far less dense than it is today, and the fall down the frequencies caused by manipulation of incarnate consciousness and DNA infiltration has made it so much more difficult to maintain a multidimensional connection while in physical form. And what he's referring to on a lot of that when it talks about the fall, that is in as far as in scripture, the fall, Adam and Eve, that it was a matter of their frequencies being lowered because that they gave in to the reptilian.
Yeah.
Because snakes don't talk.
No. No, they do not.
So
if you hear it talk, you smack it.
Absolutely. That's where you get a shovel. And he says, we are now in a cycle of change when the vibration of this world will be raised out of the dense physicality and return to where it once was. In doing so, the reptilians' ability to manipulate our physical form will be removed, and this is why they are in such a panic at this time to prevent this shift from opening the vibrational prison door. The reptilians and other manipulating entities exist only just outside the frequency range of our physical senses. Their own physical form has broken down, and they can no longer reproduce. Thus, they have sought to infiltrate human form and so use that to exist and control in this dimension. They chose the earth for this infiltration because it most resembles in vibration the locations from which they originate. That makes sense. Because as far as, other people have surmised that they came here for resources, we didn't think about vibration being a resource.
I didn't know it was a resource.
Well, it opens. This is the whole thing about this is to be thought provoking.
Yeah. All right.
These reptilians are addicted to the dense physical world and the sensations it offers, and they have no desire to advance higher. Their aim in this period is to stop the earth and incarnate humanity from making the shift from dense physical prison into multidimensional paradise. From what I understand, this dense physical world is caught in a manufactured time loop in which time is a circle, constantly repeating itself. Note that one of the ancient symbols for infinity is the snake swallowing its own tail. Yeah. That is the Ouroboros. The pentagram or five-pointed star, so prevalent in Satanism, is also symbolic of this unbroken time cycle, the vibrational prison. The period we are now experiencing has, therefore, been played out before. And again, in Scripture, there is nothing new under the sun. Mm-hmm. And that is several, different thoughts from different cultures.
Yeah.
We are just at that point again in the repeating cycle or circle, like a rat running on one of those wheels in a cage. No matter how fast it runs, it keeps covering the same ground. What we need to do is break the time circle and thus the prison. We are now in that part of the circle that is most vulnerable to this because of the vibrational changes taking place in this part of the universe, and this is why the control of humans has tightened so rapidly in this period. They are doing everything they can to defend their prison from awakening the inmates. The microchip is crucial to that. I will pause just a second. Now think, this was from 2004. Now put this in today's world. It seems more relevant now than it did when it was written.
Yeah.
It says, yeah, it's scary. It says, genetic corruption. These reptilians and their allies have corrupted Earth DNA with their own, and this genetic infiltration lies dormant until it is activated by the vibrational fields generated by the Illuminati secret society rituals and others in the public eye, like the carefully designed coronations and official ceremonies of many kinds, including even the UK state opening of Parliament, and certainly those of various religions. This activation is now also being inflicted upon the general population through technology on Earth and in space, no doubt. And this channeled entity said that the cloning program is there to develop designer bodies for the reptilians of the in-between world that would not require the overpowering of an already incarnate consciousness. Like I said, some of this stuff you have to listen to it more than once.
Yeah.
And because these are snippets, there's some of the things it's like, damn, I need to read the whole chapter, the whole transcript on it.
Yeah.
And Icke very much, I will put this in there, many find him offensive because of what he says about religions, about political figures, especially, he is British, as far as like the, what am I trying to think? The Queen, all that stuff.
She's a lizard.
Yeah, he's said that for years.
Yeah.
So, anyhow, it says once activated, the DNA opens the body to possession by these reptilians and other beings. And this is what is happening, for example, to Freemasons in the rituals, that most of them deliver parrot fashion while having no idea of the vibrational significance. This is why the Illuminati are so obsessed with knowing a person's bloodline. They know which have the potential for this activation and possession and which do not. The Mormon Church geological database and now the DNA databanks are designed to identify those with the bloodline. I will insert that there's a whole lot more known about people's DNA since this was written. 23andMe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ancestry.com.
These are the people who are given jobs and roles that serve the Illuminati agenda, while most of them have no idea what is really going on and what they're being used for. Their DNA is then activated and they go through a change of character, a phrase I have heard so many times in relation to such people once they advance in the system, and a very different consciousness takes over their mental and emotional processes. This is why it is so important for everyone to stay well clear of ritual, no matter how innocent it may appear on the surface. I would include New Age ritual in this too. I don't mean standing in a circle, connecting together, or projecting loving thoughts, etc. I mean carefully constructed ritual that is constantly repeated, as with religious ceremony, for example. I am beginning to realize why I've had a lifelong aversion to taking part in ritual of any kind. Each new generation of the Illuminati bloodline families is exposed to the appropriate ritual to activate their possession by the reptilian entities, and so the cycle goes. The phase that comes to mind is, forgive them for what they know not what they do. Now this little part here, it says P.S., so I don't know if Icke has written this or if it was the person that had taken the bit out of what Icke had written. I don't know. So that's
just an add-on.
That's a gray area. It says apparently this DNA infiltration is known within the inner circles of the British royal family as the family disease. They are actually in fear of it because they know that once it is activated, they will be taken over. But of course, they are caught in a world of constant ritual and ceremony designed specifically to activate their possession. It's a catch-22. Without the ritual, they cannot be the royal family, but with the ritual, they are activated and possessed. The thought and emotional processes of the UK's Queen Mother are not those of Elizabeth Bowes-Lyon, the little girl officially born into that body 101 years ago. Well, she's still rolling on, ain't she? So,
yeah.
How old is she?
I don't know.
And it says the Queen.
Oh yeah, she's about to die at any moment.
It says they are controlled by the reptilian entity or entities which possessed her after the hybrid DNA activation. So, yeah, that's the only one I'm going to read tonight because there's so much to unpack on that it's, if we went any longer, it'd be like, oh my God, we would be dizzying everyone else.
Yeah, I'm dizzy.
Did it make you dizzy?
Yes.
But now, this, like I said, this article was written in 2004. So I don't know when Icke had written this one book, which was When They Are So Obsessed with the Bloodline and Ritual. Like I said, I need...
That's a horrible title for a book.
Well, I don't know. It is. And I really need to get some of his stuff that he had written then to hone up on the reptilians and the reptilian agenda. The agenda's pretty simple in the fact they want to destroy us.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, I mean, that's been the agenda since the Garden of Eden. the creation of humanity. And Ike has always said, like so many, that as a species, we have no idea who we are, and what we're capable of. Because that we have been dumbed down. We have been lied to. We've been told that we're one thing. I think that goes into sort of like the Stanford prison experiment.
Well, yeah.
That we have fallen into that victim mentality. And that is being fostered right now horribly. You know, poor little me, this has happened. Well, you know, you can say this happened in my life, but you don't have to let it stop you. And during this period of time, Ike has very much been vocal on people standing up against things that are wrong, that we know that are wrong, and that how a handful of people are controlling thousands and millions. And when you've got large groups that allow small groups to be their overlords, there's a problem.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of a problem there.
Yeah. And like I said, you can find a lot of his stuff there on BitChute, especially him speaking out about things that are going on in our world today. And it's easy to discount what he says, except when you've got this that was written that many years ago, and we're seeing this played out today. What is going on today has been going on for a long time. It's not new. It's just, it's cranked up to 11.
Yeah.
So
let's hope they don't turn it up more.
Oh, well.
That'd be bad.
It's going to, you can't, after something starts boiling, which it is boiling, there's always a point where it boils over.
Mm-hmm.
And we're heading to that.
Yep, and quickly.
Yeah. So, reptilians, rather than making this huge, long, whatever, like I said, I would rather people have enough time to process that and then go on to the next thing. So,
yes.
and people's like, you're attacking the monarch. I ain't attacking nothing. I'm just sitting here.
This is alleged shit. Anyway.
Right. This is David Icke. It is his theories. He has, like I said, been consistent for years. And he has put up with a tremendous amount of social pressure. And I will say he has done remarkably well with it because he does not give a shit. Or he doesn't appear to. It has not worn on him the way that it has so many others. Mm-hmm. And, like I said, love him or hate him, a lot of the stuff that he has foretold is certainly happening. And so we'll continue on the next cup with another excerpt.
Yes.
You're just sleepy. I woke you up,
yes.
Even though it's late.
Yes,
I had to, you'll be up all night. You'll be up all night pondering reptilians.
No, bullshit. I'm going to be going right back to bed.
Oh, so anyhow, if you've had experiences with paranormal, supernatural, encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, reptilians, if you have information about the reptilians or whatever that I may not be aware of, if you've got local, regional families, myths, legends, like I said, we're going to carry on this reptilian thing, which includes the shape-shifting. And I need to try to find some videos where these people...
It's not just aliens that shape, or reptilians that shape-shift.
Right. I've heard quite a bit of it. It's like... was the movie Predator? Was that the one where the alien had like the cloaking device?
I have no clue. I don't watch this movie.
But there have been accounts of people, witnessing things like that. Which is kind of horrifying. But that's for a separate cup.
Yeah.
So, thank you all for joining us with the porch ponderings, the living room ponderings. Know that you are valued, that you are loved, and as far as lots of us are waking up, I haven't seen the new Matrix yet.
Literally waking up.
I've heard that there is a lot of symbolism in there. People are like, I don't like it. That doesn't mean it doesn't have value. I haven't seen it yet, but I hope to in the next week or so, depending on how our days go.
Mm-hmm.
We never know. But anyhow, you can send us an email, cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com. And we will see you all on the next cup.
Yes. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and most of all, subscribe and click that little notification bell for daily upload notifications.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck. Bye. I'm going back to bed.
Bye.